Hello my lovely people, welcome to Nita Crochet. My name is Anita. So today we are going to be making distressed buttoned shorts. I have been sharing this several times on my stories, Instagram stories, on my statuses, and I've been telling you guys I'm going to make this, and today we are going to be doing that. So fast forward, we are going to be working with Robin Chunky. I've been getting so many questions about what kind of yarn, when to use chunky yarn and when to use the lightweight yarn. Today I'm making shorts, and I told you I usually use chunky for shorts, skirts and all that, more so for big sizes. For smaller people I usually go for the lightweight. So we are going to be working with Robin 100% acrylic. It's 100 grams like you see right here, 100 grams, and we are going to need a scissor. We are going to need buttons. I don't know how many buttons you want to use, but I want to use 3. Also, I'm going to be working with 2 hooks. This is my 6.0 millimeters, so it is a 6 millimeter hook, and this is a 3.5 millimeter hook. And we are going to also need a needle. All right, so let's get started. So we are going to start off with a knot like this. All right, and with my 3.5 millimeter hook right here, I'm going to insert it into the loop, and I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so into the third chain stitch from the hook, I am going to work a double crochet like this, and I'm going to keep working 1 double crochet into every chain stitch until I get to the end. So literally you should have about 8 double crochet stitches. So this is it. Okay, so I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work, and for this row I'm going to work a half double crochet like this, pull through all, yarn over, insert your hook into that, yarn through, yarn over, pull through all. Okay, so you're going to work these half double crochet stitches until you get to the end. So in total there should be 8. And into the very last stitch you work your last one, and I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and for this row I am going to work double crochets like this. So you're going to work double crochets until you get to the end, and that's right here, and then chain 2, turn your work. For this next row you're going to work half double crochets like this. There should be 8. So basically what we are doing is we are making the waistband. Okay, so this is what we have. This is how it looks like. So this is our waistband. So I'm just going to continue doing that. Chain 2, work double crochets on this row, and the next row should be half double crochets. So you're going to do that until you get to the number of rows that you want, sorry, to the number of length that you want your waist to be. So now I've come to the end of my double crochet, so I'm going to chain 2, turn my work, and work half double crochets on this row. So just do that I forgot to tell you, you will need a tape measure. Sometimes I actually don't get to look back to my tape measure. So you're going to do this like this to the length that you want. I am making for size medium. So I'm making for size medium, and I want a waist that is 25 inches. So I am going to keep working this until I get to 24. So I'm going to make it up to 24, not 25. So if you're making for a waist that is around 28 or 30, you should make it 1.5 inches shorter, or an inch shorter than the length that you want. Or you can as well make it 2 inches shorter, because at the end of the day this can stretch out. So that's quite it. Make it 1 inch shorter of the waist, length of the waist that you want it to be. I want 25 inches, so I'm going to make 24 inches, and that 1 inch is going to do something for us, as I'm going to show you in front as we get there. So just keep doing this, working double crochets and half double crochets until you get to the length that you want. So I have come to the end of my rows for my waist. So this is a waistband, all right? And you can see I have made it up to 20, actually it is 24. It is 24, all right? So this is where I am. Now I'm going to start working on this downer part right here. I'm going to start working single crochets. So like I said, we are going to start working single crochets right here. So I'm going to chain 2 and work 2 single crochets into every double crochet and half double crochet post. So like this, 2 single crochets, all right? 2 single crochets. You don't have to crochet too tight, because the more your creation is actually going to turn out very, very tense. So you should just be super free, but also not too free, because it will sort of sag. So like you see, you're going to work 2 single crochets into every post until you get to the end of your waistband, right? So let me catch you there when you're done single crocheting 2 into every post. So as you all can see, I have finished working my single crochets on this row, like you can see. So right now I am going to change the hook. So I'm going to get my 6mm hook. You can as well use a 5mm if you're actually used to using that. I am so much used to using a 6mm, but a 5.5 would really work well. A 6 will work. A 5 as well would work, but I actually advise you use a 5.5 or 6. So I am going to get my 6mm hook, and I'm going to insert it into this loop, turn my work, chain 2, right? And I'm going to start working half double crochets into these single crochets that I have made on the previous row. I hope you guys can see clearly well. Okay, so I'm going to start working 1 half double crochet into every stitch. It may be a little hard for you to find your way into these stitches, because you're using a far bigger hook from what you previously have been using, but you try to find your way into that. So I'm just going to work normal half double crochets until I get to the end of this row. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to just work half double crochets until you get to the end of this row right here. So let me meet you there and show you what to do next. So I've come to the end of my half double crochet row right here. So I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work like this. I am going to work 3 more rows of plain half double crochet, no increase, no decrease, just half double crochet. So I want you guys to do the same. Just work 3 more rows. So in total we should have 4 normal rows of normal half double crochet. So just work 3 more rows and let me meet you there. So I have finished my 4th row of the half double crochet. So I just want to show you now. This is what we have, all right? And I have counted my stitches. I have 95 half double crochets, all right? So I am taking this this gap right here to be the gap to which I am going to crochet some sort of like panel on which my buttons are going to go. So I am assuming that this right here is going to be 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So it should take about 5 chains. If I am going to create that sort of like panel, it should be around 5 chains. So if I have 95 stitches on this row, and I also include the 5 that will go here for the panel, that means I'm going to have an overall total of 100 stitches, all right? So if I'm having 100 and I want to find the middle for the sides, like the hip sides, and I want to start my increase. So if I have 100, that means the back is going to be 50 stitches and the front is going to be 50 stitches. So that means if I am to divide 50 by 2, it means I'm going to have 25 stitches right here and 25 right here and then 50 at the back, all right? So I really want you guys to be very keen about what I am saying and listen very clearly, because this is where the mathematics comes in, but it also helps us to like get to know what to do and how to always find the decrease and increases and where to put them. So if I'm going to have a total of 100 stitches, that means 25 here, 25 here, meaning in the 25th stitch on the sides is where I have to like make an increase, all right? So I am going to deduct the 5 stitches which are not right here. So if I'm to have 50 on the front, so 50 minus 50 minus 5, because 5 is not here. I am going to just attach it later on. So 50 minus 5, that means I have 45 stitches on the front. So divide 45 by 2, I will get like 22.5. So that means for the sides right here, I think it is 22, yes, 22.5. So that means I am going to count 22 here, and in the 23rd is where I am going to make an increase, and also this side I'm going to count 22, and in the 23rd is where I'm going to make an increase. So let's get started right away. I'm going to insert my hook into this loop, chain 2, turn my work, and I'm going to start working half double crochets while counting. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So into the 23rd is where I'm going to make an increase, and that is 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So this is my first increase for the hips, all right? So now, because I am at the back, I am going to have to count 50 stitches all the way right here. Count 50 stitches while make half double crochets, 1 half double crochet into every stitch, 50 of them. So the 50th half double crochet is where you make your increase, or you can just count backwards from here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23. So you can just like label that, so you get to know like this is where I have to make my increase. Okay, like that. So you're just going to come making half double crochets all the way from here like this, and up to here you make an increase, and then just make 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get to the end of the row right here. So let me catch you there. So I've come to the end of my row, and when making increases, I usually advise you make 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows. 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows. Even when you're making a decrease, it is 2 rows of a decrease and 2 normal rows. So I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. So that already tells you we have to make an increase as well, and this is where our increase was. So I am going to half double crochet 1 into every stitch until I get to the increase, and when I get to the increase, I am actually going to make another increase, because as I've told you, 2 rows of an increase and 2 normal rows. So that means the next 2 rows are going to be normal rows without any increases. So now I am going to make my way back here. You should actually get to mark your where you made an increment, so that you do not bypass it. So I've come to where I made an increment, and this is where it is. So I am going to work 2 half double crochets into this very same stitch like this. And now after that, I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I get back to where I made an increase right here, and work 2 half double crochets. So after that, you're going to make 1 half double crochet until the end of the row into every stitch, and let me meet you there and show you what to do next. So as you can see, I am done with my row. So I am going to work 2 normal rows without an increase, like I actually told you in the first place. So we are just going to work 2 normal rows. That is 1 half double crochet into every stitch, all right, until you get to the end of the row. Chain 2 and get back, turn your work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get to the end of that second row of no increase. So let's just do that, and let me meet you there. So I'm done with my row of the last row of the 2 rows I told you without increase. And right now I have tried to measure my length, what I have right now, okay, my width, and I find that I have about 36. That would be like 17 times 2, all right? Okay. Here it shows 17, but remember it is like curvy. So if I'm to measure, I have to do like this. Okay? To do like this. So roughly it is 18. So 18 times 2, if we do like this, 18 times 2 is about 36. And the hips I am making are 40. So since we are working with half double crochet, and I believe half double crochet gives us an enormous stretch, so that means the 4 inches shall be stretched out to meet the width that I want for my hips. So now what we are going to do is we are going to work, let me see if I mark where I want my buttons to be. We are going to work 2 more rows of no decrease, no increase, 2 normal rows literally. So we are going to work 2 more normal rows, and from that I am now going to work the panel to which the buttons are going to go. So let's work two normal rows, and then I meet you at the end of those 2 rows. So this is what I have. I have finished my 2 other rows of no increase. So basically I am not going to increase anymore, because with what I have measured, I'm confident this can fit, and because we are working with half double crochets, I expect it to stretch out more. So literally, if you're working with half double crochet, it is not wise for you to make, if you're like hips 40, you shouldn't make it up to 40 hips. You should make it at least up to 36, because I know half double crochet can actually stretch out up to like 6 inches maximum. All right, so you should keep that in mind. If your hips are 50 and you're making size large, make it up to like 46. All right, so this is what we have, and now I'm going to change my hook. With my 3.5 millimeter hook, I am going to insert my hook right here, and along this line I am going to start working single crochets. So I'm going to chain 2, and into this very first stitch right here I am going to work 1 single crochet, and right here into the joint I will work 1 single crochet. So basically I'm going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch. Or you can actually just, if you feel like it's getting very, pulled together, you can work 2, but just make sure you're putting enough stitches so that it doesn't look like tense or something like that. It just looks straight and well crocheted out. So I'm just going to work single crochets along this row. And once I am here, I'm going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch, chain stitch that we made, if you remember very well. So basically this is it. This is what I have. If it is not like straight like this, you can just go back and like add a few single crochets in there so it looks like neat. All right, so from here I am going to turn my work, and I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm going to chain 2 more to start our row, and right here into the 3rd stitch from the hook I'm going to work a half double crochet like this. Okay, half double crochet, half double crochet along the chain stitches you have made, and lastly a half double crochet. So you should have a total of 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Was I so close? Okay, so we have 5 of them, and you see these are the single crochets we made. So we are making a panel to where the buttons are going to go, and you see how it's going to look like. So into the single crochets that we have made, I'm going to skip this very first one, and into the second I am going to slip stitch like this. Okay, and I'm going to slip stitch into the next single crochet right here like this. Okay, and turn my work. Please do not chain. And right here I am going to work half double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over into this very first half double crochet of the previous row. I'm going to work 1 half double crochet. So you should make sure it is tight right here so that it doesn't create some sort of like gap, to show that it was just attached to this piece. So you work 5 half double crochets in total. I have shared this in my previous tutorial of the checkerboard skirt, how to actually attach this panel, and I feel like you guys did not actually get it super well, so I am thinking this is going to actually help out. So chain 2 and turn your work. All right, and here you're going to work half double crochets into this of the previous row, the half double crochets you made of the previous row, like this. So there should be 5 in total, and so these are the single crochets we are attaching it to. So for this time we are going to skip this and instead slip stitch into the next single crochet, like this. All right, so you're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet, like this. All right, and then turn your work, yarn over, insert your hook into the very first half double crochet, and then start working half double crochets. There should be 5 of them, like this. So here you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. All right, so you can see what we are creating. So you're going to yarn over and work half double crochets as well, like this. So there should be 5. You already know there should be 5. So once you have them, when you're coming back, you're going to skip this, and into this you will work a slip stitch, like this. So when you're making the next row, you're not going to skip. Instead, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch of the single crochet and turn your work and work half double crochets. All right, so let me just repeat this one more time so you all can get it. So in total there should be 5 half double crochets. 1 2 3 4 5. So chain 2, turn your work, work 5 half double crochets, like this. So once you have your 5 half double crochets, you are going to skip this, and into this is where you're going to slip stitch. All right, like I said, when you're approaching the single crochet row, you're going to skip one and slip stitch into the next, but when you're going back this side, you're going to actually just slip stitch into the next single crochet and turn your work and start working half double crochets right away. The reason as why I say this is because if we do not skip any and just work half double crochets all the way, you're going to find that we have more half double crochets, more of the horizontal half double crochets, given what it should look like right here. So this will become, I don't know actually how to explain that, but when you see now, you see that the number of the way it has been attached to this looks clearly like super neat. All right, it looks neat. So you have to skip one and slip stitch into the next, and when you're coming back, you just slip stitch into the next and actually start working your half double crochets. Instead, do not skip every row. I said for the one row you will skip and slip stitch into the next. For the next row you won't skip. All right, so just follow that sort of like series. So you're going to keep doing that until you get to the end right here, and once you're here, you're going to cut your yarn, and then I'm going to get back and show you what to do next. So I've come to the end of my panel right here. So this is what I have, and I'm going to cut my yarn, okay, and just secure this like this. Okay, so I'm also going to work the same for this side, but before I do that, I am just going to get my buttons and try to like fit them the way I feel like they have to fit, the way I feel like they have to fit. And if you can just get pieces of yarn and try to mark that out. Okay, so right here I am going to mark it like this. So and that was where it was. This is where this is. You just mark them out according to how many buttons you have. So do not be a copycat. So if you have like 4 buttons, you can just fit them out. If you have 5, whatever it is you have, you can just try to fit it out. And so if you have yarn markers, you can just use those. I don't have any, so I just improvise with what I have. So I'm going to get my needle. I have two needles. I have this and I have this. So for my buttons, I have to use this small one. So I'm going to get my button, my first button, and take out the marker, what I used to mark. Just place that there, and you're going to start hand sewing it on like this. Sorry. So this is very easy, but I just feel like I have to take you through it. Sorry. So just stitch it on and make sure it is now super secure. Once it is secure, you're going to cut your yarn. Okay, now you're going to cut your yarn at the back like this and make a knot. So you're going to place buttons everywhere you marked, and let me meet you there when you are finished to place your buttons where you have to place them. So this is what I have. This is how my buttons have come out, and you're going to turn your work, okay, and now put your needle aside and get your 3.5mm hook. And now from the top right here, we are going to attach our yarn like this, okay, and we are going to chain 2. Chain 2 and start working single crochets along this line like this, just like we did on the previous one. So you're going to start working single crochets. And right here, you're going to start working your single crochets. It is actually, I advise that you count the single crochets you made on this row from here up to here, so that you apply them right here. So you're going to single crochet until you get to the end right here, and when you get to the end, I'm going to show you what to do next. So this is where you are, and when we get here, we are going to chain 5, 3, 4, 5, and turn your work. Okay, so to start your first row, you're going to chain 2, and into the 3rd stitch from the hook, you're going to work a half double crochet like that. So you just keep working half double crochets. There should be 5 of them in total. So once you have your 5 half double crochets done, you are going to slip stitch, skip this first stitch, of the single crochet we previously made. Skip that, and into the second you're going to work a slip stitch like that, and then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch like that, and yarn over, work a half double crochet into this very first stitch as well, and keep working half double crochets until the end of the row. So in total there should be 5 half double crochets. But remember, as we work this, we have to keep in mind that we are having buttons on the other side, so we have to create holes into which the buttons are going to be inserted into. So this is where we are. So that means for my next row I have to create some sort of like gap. So I'm going to chain 2, and into this very first stitch I'm going to work a half double crochet and work another half double crochet, and now I am going to chain 2. Please make sure you're chaining tight because we want a very small hole, not too small given the size of buttons you have, but a very small hole in which the buttons are going to be plugged into, and they don't actually like pull out easily, because if you create a bigger hole, that means the buttons are going to be plugged into it, but when someone maybe bends or something, you'll find the button is actually plugged out. So we need to create a small hole. So you're going to chain 2 but tightly, okay, and you're going to skip 2 and into this very last to create our 5th half double crochet. You're going to work 1 half double crochet. So we are doing this to keep the same number of stitches, but yet as well creating a gap for the button. So here we are going to skip this, and into this we are going to work a slip stitch to attach it. So into the next stitch you're going to work a slip stitch, and now you are going to work 1 half double crochet right here and 2 half double crochets into the gap, okay, and then 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. So you should count them and have a total of 5 half double crochets. So I'm going to try out my hole and test whether it is actually the size I am wanting you guys to have. Okay, so you see that? That's what I want. It should be small, the button can go into it, but as well it shouldn't be in a way that it can pluck out, or when the pant is stretched out the button can actually go out. So we are on the right track. Okay, so now I'm going to keep working normal half double crochet rows until I get to the part where I have to now also put a hole for the next button. So normal half double crochet rows, and when you get to the end, like I told you, when you're getting back to the row that has the single crochet stitches, you have to skip 1, and into the next you're going to slip stitch, and then to start the next row you're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet, turn your work and work a half double crochet and 4 more half double crochets into the next 4 stitches. So there we go. So you're going to chain 2, do the same, work normal half double crochet stitches until you get to attaching it to the single crochet row, and once you're there you're going to skip 1, into the next you're going to slip stitch, and into the next to start the next row you're going to slip stitch and start working your half double crochet. But then I need to see whether I am at the point to which I have now to leave a gap, and as you can see I feel like we are at that point. So you are going to work 1 half double crochet into this first stitch, all right, chain 2, that should be tightly because we want a small gap, and you're going to skip 2 stitches. Into the next 2 stitches you work 2 half double crochets, 1 for each stitch. So you're going to chain 2 and turn your work, okay, into the very first stitch you work a half double crochet, into the next you work a half double crochet, and into the gap you work 2 half double crochets, and then the 5th half double crochet will go right there. So to attach it, you skip this, and into this you work a half double crochet, and then into the next stitch you will slip stitch, okay, and turn your work and work a half double crochet and double crochets all through to end the row. So let us just check out how it has turned out and see what the result is before we go on. Okay, so this is what I have. You see that? Okay, now you're going to do as I've showed you right here for this next button and whichever number of buttons you all have, and work it until you get to the top right here, and from there I'll show you what to do next. So I've come to the end of my row, and now this is what we are going to do. Okay, this is what yours has to look like. So we are going to stitch these two together, this and this, not the whole of this, but just this and this. So I'm going to get my needle. If you can just single crochet them together. If you can't, or you want to do it my way, you can just do what I'm going to do. So from here, just mark where you started your first half double crochet, that is there, and this. So from there you're going to insert your hook and push it through to the other side and just start working these two together, hand sewing them together. You can hand sew them any way that you want, but single crocheting these together would also be the best thing to do. Or actually, if you don't want, you can just leave them and just get back here and work your stitches over them. So once you're done with doing that, like you see how they look like, you're going to cut your yarn and just secure this by making a knot. So I'm going to turn my work to the back like that, and I'm just going to find anywhere. I'm going to now make my starting point. So I'm going to get back to my 6mm hook and just find anywhere, any point where I can start like working my my stitches. So I actually advise it should be the middle of the back. I haven't counted, but I just estimated, but you can take your time and count. So now we are going to start working our half double crochet rows. Okay, so you're just going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch like we have been doing until you get to the end of the row, but we'll just get back to you when you get at this point. So make 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get here, and then I show you how to maneuver this edge. So I've come to that part that I told you right here, and it's going to be a little bit tricky because we are going to be forced to find our way through into these stitches. So now this is the trickiest part, but you're going to just work half double crochets and find your way through. Let me just use this other small hook because it is very easy to penetrate. Okay, so that's 1. In total there should be 5. That's 2. I'm just using this because I want to penetrate through those gaps. So when you're using this, you don't have to be super tight, because if you get super tight, your stitches are going to look smaller than the real hook size we are using. So okay, so this is what I have. I'm going to get back to my hook and keep working the half double crochets like this. So I'm going to work half double crochets until I get back to this point where we started. So let me catch you there. So this marks the end of my row, and what I'm going to do here is I am going to slip stitch into this very first stitch I made of the chains, at the top of the chains, and just work a slip stitch like that, and then I'm going to chain 2 and turn my work. Okay, now I'm going to work from the inside, so into this very first stitch right here is where I'm going to make my way through, and I'm going to work a half double crochet. I'm going to continue working normal half double crochets for a total of, let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 8 6. So I'm going to work 5 more rows, this being one of them, this row that I'm going to now get to deal with until the end, and then 4 other more rows. That makes it 5 rows. So just do that for more other 5 rows, and when I get back after that, I'm going to show you what to do next. So this is how it looks like. I've come to the end of my 5th row, and this is how your piece has to look like. All right, so I have marked just this because it's more like the middle. If I count these 5 stitches that we had right here, this could be the middle. So I just marked it and counted my stitches all the way around, and they are 108. So you should also count yours as well and mark this to be your middle. All right, because now I'm approaching the crotch area. So I have 108, so 108 divided by 2 is 54. So I'm going to count from here, all right, and count all the way to here. So I am going to count and mark my 54th stitch. All right, when I mark that, I am going to start working half double crochets, and when I meet that middle, in this middle I am going to work 4 half double crochets in the same stitch. So let me do that and get back to you when I'm approaching my middle, and then show you how to maneuver. So guys, I've been counting my stitches, and it just so happened that this very stitch is my 54th stitch. So I am going to chain 2 and turn my work like you see, and into this very first stitch I am going to work 4 half double crochet. Remember, the 2 chains does not count as a stitch, so these are 3 half double crochet, and this is the 4th half double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to continue working half double crochets, 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I get to the marked stitch that I marked that should be my middle, and that is right here. So I'm going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I get right here, and once you're there, I'm going to show you what to do. So I've come to that point that I told you right here. So when I get here, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, yarn through and pull through all, yarn over, pull through all. So I'm going to work 4 half double crochets into this very same stitch. 3 4. So literally these 2 points are going to like work as our crotch. You see it? So now I am going to continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until I get back right here, and slip stitch into this, and then I'm going to show you what to do next after that, so that we can join the front and the back. So once you're here, you're going to work a slip stitch to attach this to the other like this, and then you're going to turn your work and chain 2. All right, so now we are working is it clockwise or something? We are working on the outside. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into this very first stitch right here. Just make your way through it, and work your very first 1/2 double crochet, and you're going to keep working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until you get to this point where we put 4 1/2 double crochet into one stitch. So when we get here, I'm going to show you what to do next. So as you can see, I have come up to the peak right here. These are the 4 1/2 double crochet, and this is more like the middle of the 4 1/2 double crochet that we made right here. So I've already made my first 1/2 double crochet into the middle, and to make my second, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, yarn through, yarn over, pull through all. And now to attach the front to the back right here, this is what I am going to do. I am going to chain 10, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. All right, this does not matter whether you're doing for something bigger, for someone bigger, or you're like doing a smaller size, because I already know your hips measurements is already right on track. All right, so here you're going to make 10 chains, and you're going to yarn over and find the middle of the back where we put 4 1/2 double crochets into the very same stitch, and into the middle right there you're going to work a 1/2 double crochet like this, okay, and then work another 1/2 double crochet into the same stitch, okay, and then here into the next stitch you're going to work 1/2 double crochet, okay, and then just slip stitch it into this to attach it and close it up like that. So we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Now we are working onto this side. So into this very first stitch you're going to work a 1/2 double crochet, and just keep working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch. When you get to this the chains we have made for the crotch, you will just work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch. So literally you have to end up with 10 1/2 double crochets on the bridge, on this crotch bridge. So just work 1/2 double crochet all throughout, and until you get back to this point, slip stitch it, and from there I'm going to show you what to do next and how to start making our distressed, like because I'm making distressed shirts, so from there we are going to start making that distressed part. So I've come to the end of my first row of the crotch, and so literally I don't know where you guys want your distressed bit to be. If you prefer it should be higher, I actually I didn't put it up this way because I felt like it's going to be so revealing. If you want something revealing, you can just probably repeat your shorts or something. If you haven't made them and you are just watching the video, you can just get to know what I literally trying to mean here. So the part I'm going to make, you can place it where you want. If you want it at the back, you can do that. If you want it at the front, I feel like it needs to be at the front. So I am going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch from here all the way back to my front, and where I want it is where exactly I'm going to come back to and show you how to like get started with it. So I am at that point where I want my distress to be. So now to do that bit, this is what you have to do. You're going to pull your loop to the length that you want. It should be random. It shouldn't be like so much into a sequence that is looking so alike, because we want it to look like, we don't want it to look like it was just planned. It was more like natural. So you're going to make it to the length you want. This is the length I want, and you're going to yarn over, meeting the length of the loop, all right, and hold it right here. And then you're going to skip 1 or 2 or 3, whichever you want. I want to skip 1 because I want it to like grow wider and then grow smaller. So this is what you're going to do. I'm going to skip 1, and into the second I am going to insert my hook, pull through my yarn over, and then pull through all like this. You should just hold it so it doesn't move. Okay, see what we have. This is what we have. So I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the next stitch and work a half double crochet, and I'm going to keep working half double crochets until the end of this row. All right, so let me meet you there, and let me meet you back right here so that I show you the second row of the distress and how to like maneuver all through. All right, so I'm at this point, back right here. So it's according to what you want. If you want it to get wider, you can just do that, and you can see I've put it into this stitch and not here because I want it to look a little wider. So I'm going to pull my yarn like this, my loop, and yarn over to the length of the loop as well, and into this very next stitch I am going to work a half double crochet like that. So this is what it looks like, and you can see this time I actually made it a little bit tighter because I want it to look, I don't want it to look so planned. If this is very loose, this can be tight a little bit, and the other can be super loose like that. So right here I'm going to start working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until I get to the end of this row, and I'm going to work a slip stitch and get back to my next row. So basically this is what you're going to do, and I don't know how you want your distress to look like, but this is what you have to do. You can as well come back, and I'm going to show you how to like get it thinner and smaller and make it look smaller and then wider and all that. So let me meet you on the next row. So if you guys want to have your distress look smaller, this is what you have to do. First of all, you're going to count the stitches which you skipped right here. So if I am to count, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So literally from here up to here there are more like 10 stitches that I skipped. So to get it smaller, you're going to yarn over, and right onto these loops that you made, you're going to make a half double crochet, whichever number that you want. I'll just make 2 of these and still distress it a little more, and then work 1 half double crochet on this end as well like that, and then work the other into this half double crochet stitch. So literally this is how you get them smaller. All right, so whichever you want, you can get them wider from here and you can get them smaller, but just keep track of the number of stitches you have skipped so that when you get back to making a complete solid piece, you are not making more than the number of stitches you actually had in the first place. So just keep working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get back to this end, and slip stitch, yarn, chain 2, turn your work, and then work again half double crochets into every stitch. Come back here, distress the more you want. I don't know what length of shirts you want, but you can just make whatever length that you want and whatever patch you want for the distress. So I'm just going to come back and show you the ribbing at the end of the shirts of this leg. So I just wanted to show you guys, when you're done working your patch, you're going to just work the half double crochets you missed out. You just count it from here up to here and get to know the half double crochets that you missed out and just blend them in. For me it was 10, and I had already worked 3 on the previous row. So for this one, I just fixed 7 of them right here to make it 10, and continued working half double crochets. So just work your half double crochets until the end of the row. If you want to add more patches somewhere ahead, you can just do exactly this that I did. And also, to get a few strings, you know, falling off, you can just cut your yarn and rejoin your yarn onto it, and then don't work these beneath, just leave them hanging like this. So that's how you can get this this kind of like effect. So do this to the length that you want, and then I'll come back for the ribbing. So I've come to the end of my distress patching, and I'm going to get back to my 3.5mm hook, and I'm going to chain 2. So into this very first stitch, I'm going to work a double crochet, and I'm going to keep working 1 double crochet into every stitch until I come back to the end of it right here. And when you get back here, I'm going to show you what to do next. So just keep working 1 double crochet into every stitch. I've come to the end of my double crochet row, and I've already chained 2. So I'm still going to work on the outside, so I'm not going to turn my work. Into this very first stitch, I'm going to work 1 double crochet, and now I'm going to be working 1 normal double crochet and then a front post. So into the next one, okay, the next stitch, I'm going to work a front post. Sorry, actually it has to be this one. So I'm going to work a front post like that, and then I'm going to work normal double crochet in the next stitch, and the next stitch I'm going to work a front post. Right, so literally this is just to create more like a ribbing to like come to the end of our work, or like border our work. So basically this is what you're going to do all throughout: 1 double crochet and then 1 front post. Okay, 1 double crochet and 1 front post, like that. So you see what we have. So do this until you come to the end right here, and when you're there, I'm going to tell you what to do next. So I've come to the end of my second row of the ribbing, and I'm just going to have this disappear within. So this is what I am going to do. Just do this so this can disappear within, and I should actually mark this to be the end of my shirts, but I'm just going to take you through on what to do for the other side of the leg, so that you like typically know what to do, because this is where I'm going to leave you all and have you do the other leg on your own. So for this leg, the first row right here, if you can see, we are going to find a starting point from the back and insert our hook, work half double crochets, 1 half double crochet into every stitch, and when you get to this bridge right here at the crotch, you're just going to work single crochets along the 10 chains that we made. So here you're going to work single crochets and get back into this the middle right here and work 2 half double crochets right here, and you're going to keep working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get back to your starting point. People who have watched my first tutorial about shorts literally know how to go about this part, because I really know that it was very clear in that video. So you're just going to do that and continue doing exactly what you made for this leg. If you actually want, you can just start off your distress patch right here, so it is a little bit higher and it has to look more natural, like not so much planned. So you can just start it right away from your first row right here, and probably make it bigger or smaller depending on what you want, or even actually put it lower so it is just right here. And after that, you're going to work 2 rows of the ribbing to like border our shirts. And right there, I'll be confident that you all have learned how to make the button distressed shirts, and I'm thinking you can all follow my page, Anita Crochets, on Instagram and Facebook, and She Crochet on Snapchat, and Crochet Duchess on Twitter. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.